You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
This is Rod Mahood, your in-game voice of the Niagara IceDogs, and you're listening to the Dog Pound Podcast on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your podcast source for all game analysis, team interviews, and up-to-date news regarding the Niagara IceDogs.
Perlini! Overtime! IceDogs win! They score! Verhage was also jamming away. It's a power play goal for the IceDogs. And they score! Hosang, first goal as an IceDog. Strom stops Shipley. Richie scores! It gets it to Akil Thomas. Thomas has the angle coming in. He scores!
Welcome into a special episode of the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs, proudly brought to you by Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family in all four of their great Niagara region locations. Brendan Caputo here for a quick intro to set you up for what to expect on today's Alumni episode with IceDogs great and former captain Akil Thomas, now with the Los Angeles Kings. Guys, make sure to give us a follow at Dog Pound Podcast to stay up to date with all of our IceDogs coverage. As well, you can give us a like on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and wherever you enjoy social media content by searching the Armchair GM Sports Network, as well as on our YouTube channel. And thank you to those today who are watching us on our video version. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and smash that bell for more updates on video versions of our podcasts that get released here on the network. And thank you to those today watching us on your favorite on-demand audio platform. The Dog Pound Podcast is back, guys, and we are pleased to bring you a special edition episode just before our season preview show next week ahead of the 24-25 Niagara IceDogs season. Unfortunately, I was not able to be a part of this episode. This was actually an episode that myself and Andrew Thompson, also known as Drew Deeks, were trying to get last year, and just with Akil's scheduling and with how busy he was for the upcoming season with the Ontario Reign and the LA Kings, we weren't able to get all three of our schedules together, and Drew did his best to try to get Akil once again, and unfortunately I was away at the Sabres Prospect Challenge. Drew was actually able to do this interview while he was on his way to go watch the Habs and Leafs play in their Prospect Challenge, so we really appreciate Drew being able to jump on here and do this alumni interview with Akil Thomas, a guy that he is very familiar with and interviewed him a few times as well for his content. Make sure to give him some love on YouTube as well. I'll leave the link to his channel in the description below. Drew Deeks for all Montreal Canadiens content and updates throughout the season. Drew does a great job with his type of content, and he's a friend of the show, so we really appreciate once again him being able to help us out with me being away and him being able to facilitate this interview with Akil Thomas and get it done. We'll hear about his clothing line with Zale. We'll also hear about him finally getting that chance in the NHL, grinding away with the Ontario Reign, and obviously being the Dog Pound Podcast, we're going to ask him about his fondest memories of being a Niagara IceDog and what it was like being down there at the Meridian Center in front of all of you great fans. So really hope you guys enjoy this special edition episode and an alumni interview with Akil Thomas, seeing what one of the IceDog greats of all time is up to these days. So next you'll hear from Akil Thomas and Andrew Thompson to take you through the rest of the episode today for this special check-in on an IceDogs captain. Hope you guys enjoy.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of the Niagara IceDogs. My name is Andrew, a.k.a. Drew, here with former Niagara IceDogs captain Akil Thomas. It is good to see you again, my friend. How's everything going?
Good. Everything is good. It's been obviously a few years now since I played for the IceDogs, so it's great to kind of reconnect with you and kind of go down memory lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while, man. And right now you just re-signed a 2-year extension with the LA Kings, the team that drafted you in the NHL. And this is a big year coming up for you. So maybe we'll start with what's current and what's fresh for you right now, heading into training camp with the LA Kings. And from what you and I had discussed personally through text, do you feel like your expectations for yourself are higher maybe than they've been so far for you?
Yeah, I think it's kind of my first camp that I'm expecting to make the team and hopefully be like a bigger piece of the puzzle, right? I think in prior camps I was just like hopefully I can make the team, but now it's like my expectations to make the team and to help the team win games.
That's a big deal. Now we would be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that you officially made your NHL debut last year with the LA Kings, scoring your first NHL goal. In fact, you actually scored 3 goals, Akil, 1 assist, 4 points in 7 games. What kind of an impression do you think that made on the Kings to make that decision to extend you, and now the expectations you have for yourself?
Yeah, you know what? I think it did help out. I think contract wise more than I maybe was expecting it to. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is like, obviously prior to my games, I hadn't played any NHL games. So I think for them to just like kind of see that I can play in the NHL, like fit in, and then B, like kind of contribute, and then C, obviously like produce for the team. I think is like very important. It's kind of one thing to just see a kid who can maybe hang in there, but obviously it was kind of an important time where points were concerned. So I think my couple goals or whatever kind of did help, and I was luckily able to get an extension after the season, and I don't think my extension would have looked the way it did if it wasn't for those 7 games.
So it obviously made a lasting impression and led to your extension. So in terms of your first NHL goal, can you just take us through it? It was against the San Jose Sharks. I remember seeing Pierre-Luc Dubois pick up the puck for you, and it must have been a moment for you, man. Just like there's been so many special ones for you so far.
Yeah, what I kind of loved is that like in the AHL we played in that rink, so I kind of felt a little more comfortable than just it being in like a random NHL rink that I haven't played in. So kind of I like playing there, and obviously Dubois obviously picked the puck up, and I was kind of on the wing, and I just figured like there's a good chance I was going to get the puck, so I kind of just wanted the puck, and Spence dropped to me, and didn't even look. I just kind of shot it, and just kind of it kind of fell into the boards, and then as soon as I kind of opened my eyes, everyone was coming to me. So, yeah, it was a pretty special moment, and all my teammates are pretty happy.
How do you equate that to, I guess we'll just jump right to it for a second. How do you equate that, though, to I'm sure it's a little bit different, but to the gold medal winning goal with Team Canada in the World Juniors? Like, where does that rank in moments for you?
You know what? I think, for a guy like me in my situation, I've been in the minors for, a few years now due to injuries and stuff. So if anything, I kind of just wanted to get it out of the way. Whereas like, in a gold medal junior game, like you're not trying to just get the game winner like out of the way. So that was a little bit more shocking to me, especially it being like, my only shift of like the second half of the game, I think like something like that. So that was more of a surprise, maybe a little bit more electric. I was just looking forward to getting my first goal out of the way so I could kind of take a deep breath. So.
Well, you certainly did that, and we look forward to you potentially making your NHL debut your season debut with the LA Kings in Buffalo, where I hope to make it there. I have it circled on the calendar, my friend. So just between you and I. But jumping back to the Niagara IceDogs for a moment, Kevin He has made quite an impression with the Niagara IceDogs, and I just wanted to hear about the interaction that the two of you had, because it sounds like you guys had a chance to meet and chat a little bit.
Yeah, I think Kevin tied it, and then Dylan broke it. So yeah, obviously some good talent kind of coming down the pipeline there, which is good to see with the IceDogs. Obviously it's been like a couple tough years in terms of the team success, but I train kind of with Kevin in the summer, so I kind of see how he's doing, and in a way look at him as kind of like a little brother, to be honest, and really hoping he has a strong year, and I was rooting for him. And the Rubric kid I don't really know that well, but obviously he's a player, and from the numbers he's putting up, it seems like he's going to have a monster year. So I'm looking forward to keeping tabs on him too.
Yeah, and you are correct for the fact check here. You can tell that I'm a special contributor today for this interview with you on the Dog Pound podcast. So that is correct. Kevin tied it. Ryan Robick broke it. So you are correct, my friend. Thank you for. I'm not surprised you helped me with that one because you're just a good guy that way, Akil. So,
No
um,
problem.
so we're at this point now. I want to ask you this about the LA Reign, so the AHL farm team for the LA Kings. This was a special moment for you, Akil, to play on an all-black line with Devontae Smith-Pelly and Quinton Byfield. This was the first time, I don't know if it was in NHL or AHL history, but this was a special moment for you. And you and I actually talked about how much you meant to the Black community before, even COVID went down. So how did that sort of feel for the three of you guys to share that special, unique bond playing together that way?
Ironically enough, like we didn't really get that many shifts together that game. It was just one of those weird games with a lot of special teams, but in a good way. Like it didn't really mean much because like we're not really just looking around and being like, oh, the day I get to play with another black guys, right? I think
Right.
hockey's been a way different sport than maybe 40, 50 years ago. So at the time we didn't obviously we noticed right away, but it wasn't really that much of a difference. We're all brothers on the same team, and I'm sure it was a little cool. But it wasn't like, it wasn't like the craziest thing ever. We all feel like we're the same. And but obviously what happened was after the game, it kind of broke like the media a little bit. And so it was a thing kind of after, but I wouldn't say necessarily in the moment we felt like we probably had no idea that we were accomplishing that. So I think it was the first, apparently the second, but it was said to be the first all pro black line in history. But there's like I think two others that like allegedly happened that people kind of tweeted and stuff about, but I'm not really sure.
So yeah, and that's what I mean. Like I was curious as you were talking if the media kind of was the one to notice it first. Like you guys said, you may not have even noticed it. So either way, looking back on it now, I'm sure it has some significance to you guys.
Yeah, no, for sure, it does.
And it's been a while since you've actually been able to do a Soul on Ice podcast. So just touching briefly on the podcast that you got to do with Kwame and another ice dog, Elijah Roberts. That was a while back, but do you think we'll ever see another Soul on Ice episode? I know your schedule's busy in the off season. Is there going to be a point in time where you might revisit it?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say right now I'm just focusing on just making the NHL full time and obviously balancing Zale as well. I kind of just figured like personally I was getting a little tied up in a lot of different stuff, and sometimes people maybe underestimate like just the value of like having free time. It's kind of just good for the mind. You need somewhat of a break, and so I'm the type of guy I like to juggle a lot of things. So I just needed to take a little bit of things off my plate, and we'll see where that goes. Maybe we restart in the future. I'm not really sure.
Now, you mentioned Zale. You are very well still involved with your clothing line. For those that don't know, the clothing line that you started many years ago while you're with the IceDogs, or even before, actually. So how is that going? I know it took a boost. I made a joke with you that you had an increase in Zales after the gold medal goal. But how has it been going for you as you try to, focus on making the NHL full time here?
Yeah, it's been great. Every year has been better since we started. So we've never regressed. We've always done better and better. And so if we keep that up, maybe we can kind of just start to scale and grow. It's definitely as we grow, it's becoming more of a commitment, and there's more money and more things at stake, which is cool. So yeah, it's been a cool ride growing it.
What's been your favorite part about it? I mean, not everybody gets to run a clothing line. Is it just cool kind of seeing, when orders come in? Like, do you like the logo? Like, what's your favorite part about it?
I'd say like seeing people that I don't know in public wearing it, because I mean the first couple times it happened, I was younger and like I didn't really I was shy. I didn't really know if I should like say hi. I didn't know why they would like buy Zale stuff, because at the time I was young and Zale wasn't as cool, and stuff. So that was kind of interesting, just being like, oh wow, like people actually like this, I guess. That's kind of been the coolest thing, I think, for me so far. And maybe, you know, even when I'm about to play games, if I see like a Zale hoodie in the crowd, like that's always kind of like a cool little thing, I would say, because like we design these things like literally on Zooms, you know, a couple times a week. So we kind of do things from scratch, and to see it being appreciated by other people, it means a lot.
The Niagara IceDogs, like you mentioned earlier, they've had some tough times. They've had some major overhauls right from the ground up, from new ownership to new coaching, new players. It's a full-on rebuild in Niagara. It's been going on for a few years now. Until, or sorry, not since you were captain, Akil, before the big trade went down after the big gold medal winning goal, the IceDogs haven't really, you know, had that sort of, you know, anything close to the success that they had over the years since you were there. So what's one of the most fondest memories, or maybe maybe two or three that come to mind as a Niagara IceDog? We all know you loved being an IceDog.
Yeah. I loved being an IceDog. I think definitely scoring my first goal was one of the best moments ever. Ironically enough, being traded was one of the best moments ever, just because it was a time to reflect, like, all that happened for me in Niagara. Like, it was the first time I got emotional, like, in an interview. I remember doing like a bench side interview in my return, and I like remember not being able to speak. And I think that's just when it kind of hit me there. I was like, damn, like I'm on the other team. I'm wearing a different jersey, and I'm the away team. So that was a weird but cool kind of way to appreciate all the time I had. And then probably just like, you know, like maybe going into my fourth camp there and meeting all like the younger guys, and kind of realizing that was me like 3 years ago. And so I just to take a couple kids like under my wing and like, you know, try to, well, take care of them maybe a little bit better than my vets did, but just kind of show them like kind of the ropes, and like kind of be a little bit of a, you know, a bigger brother to a lot of kids in the team, because we had a lot of rookies my fourth year. So if I was able to kind of help them, you know, with their transition, because it's a hard transition in a junior hockey, then that was kind of the most important thing for me. Being, you know, an older sibling, like that was kind of a big part of why I enjoyed being, you know, the captain and being an older guy in the Dogs.
Just going to pause here for a quick commercial break.
In the Niagara region, Global Pet Foods is your destination for premium pet nutrition and caring expertise. Whether you've welcomed a new furry family member or need advice on top quality nutrition, their dedicated staff is ready to help. Discover why Global Pet Foods' lesser-known premium brands outshine the big corporate names. Their team's passion ensures your pet's health and vitality. Check out one of their locations today: 3643 Portage Road in Niagara Falls, 160 Highway 20 in Font Hill, or 400 Scott Street and 344 Glendale Avenue in St. Catharines. Global Pet Foods, where premium brands and caring staff make the difference.
Cully's Original Sports Bar is your ultimate destination for unbeatable food, drinks, and sports action in Niagara. Whether you're gearing up for a big game, winding down after a day at the office, or just looking for a lively spot to catch up with friends, Cully's has you covered. Their menu is packed with mouth-watering options, from classic pub favorites to unique chef specials, all served alongside a wide selection of craft beers, cocktails, and daily drink deals. With multiple TVs broadcasting the latest sports events, you won't miss a minute of the action, no matter where you sit. Cully's Original Sports Bar, a proud supporter of Niagara IceDogs hockey. Whether you're gearing up for the game or celebrating a big win, Cully's is the place to be before and after every IceDogs matchup. Check out their menu online at cullys.com. Give them a call at 905-684-1771 or check them out on Facebook, X, or Instagram for more information. Located at 223 St. Paul Street in the heart of downtown St. Catharines, just minutes from the Meridian Center. Open daily Sunday to Thursday till midnight and Friday to Saturday till 2 a.m. for those late night eaters. Cully's, it happens here.
Fuel up your day with Gale's Gas Bars. They're your go-to gas stations in the Niagara region. Remember, at Gale's, they're not just a gas station. They're a local tradition. Whether you're hitting the road or staying cozy at home, choose Gale's. Gale's Gas Bars provide reliable fuel that keeps you moving. Stop in for quality you can trust and service with a smile. Don't settle for less. Head to Gale's Gas Bars today, because when it comes to fuel,
You're going to Gales!
learn more at gales.ca.
Are you currently looking for work in the Niagara region? If so, you owe it to yourself to check out the services provided by the Niagara Employment Help Center, located at 6100 Thoroldstone Road in Niagara Falls. Their many free services include a fully staffed resource area open to the public, resume and cover letter writing, local labor market information, job search strategies, assistance with clarifying employment, training and career goals, employment counseling and job search support, Better Jobs Ontario information, and registration assistance. Check out their website at ehc.on.ca or call 905-358-0021 for more information. The Niagara Employment Help Center, helping people find work since 1983. This Employment Ontario program is funded by the Government of Ontario.
The great guys over at Hockey Stick Man are sponsoring this video. If you play hockey but are sick of paying upwards of $400 for top-end sticks, check these guys out. There is seriously no better place to shop. The guys are fun, easy, and offer a stress-free experience from start to finish. They get pro stock sticks from major junior teams right up to the NHL teams and sell them for half the price that the same stick would sell for at a retail store. To further support their mission of saving hockey families money, they offer closeout options, which entail taking last year's retail models and blowing them out for less than wholesale prices. It's literally the best prices on the internet for their sticks. And the best sticks of all may be their Pro Blackout series, which provide a top-end stick with no graphics and literally less than half the price of a branded top-end retail model. It's always been their best-selling stick despite super cool pro stock options. It's a no-brainer to shop with these guys, and trust me, they are beauties. Head over to hockeystickman.ca/thearmchairgm and get $15 off your first order. That's hockeystickman.ca/thearmchairgm to get an additional $15 off your first order when you sign up on their website. Check out our friends at Hockey Stick Man.
This is Kevin Heath.
This is Brady Waslin.
This is Ethan Zadig.
It's Owen Flores. This is the Dog Pound Podcast.
The official podcast of the Niagara IceDogs.
Welcome back to the Dog Pound Podcast. Andrew Thompson again here with Akil Thomas, former captain of the Niagara IceDogs, brought to you by Global Pet Foods and all four of their great Niagara region locations where pets are undeniably part of the family. Akil, I got to ask you, based on your last answer, I'm kind of curious now. You mentioned that some of the veterans that were there when you were a new Ice Dog weren't exactly taking care of you as much as you were taking care of the new guys when they came in. So what would happen here?
I mean, that's probably biased when you're a younger guy in the OHL. You feel like you have a lot of responsibilities and like rookie duties and stuff like that. So it is kind of tough to navigate because you go from being a big dog on your minor midget team to a rookie and basically do all the stuff that the older guys don't want to do. So every rookie will say that. I didn't actually mean anything by it in terms of like our vets. Our vets treated me well, but I think that I really wanted to kind of ease up on the younger guys and make them feel welcomed and obviously get them doing their rookie duties. But I wanted a little bit more of a relaxed room because I think my rookie year there's some tension sometimes when rookies wanted to maybe speak up or whatever. So
Gotcha. Well, you certainly had your voice by the time you were leading these guys because I'm pretty sure they were listening when you saw the new rookies coming in. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you what it's been like to play with NHLers that everybody knows their name, guys like Anze Kopitar, Drew Doughty. You got Joel Edmondson that just came over in a trade. My guy, Philip Deneau, Habs fan. Sorry, anyone that's offended. But what's it been like playing with those guys, Akil? I can imagine it's been pretty special for you so far.
Oh, yeah, it's been special. I think, I've played hockey for a lot of years now, right? And I feel like I've gotten it figured out a decent bit, but just being on the ice with those guys, like they've got it figured out on a different level. Like they have the ability to basically just sleep through elite hockey, elite playmaking, just that are everyday plays for them. So I think being able to kind of see how good they are and like how effortless, it kind of is to be that good is pretty remarkable. It's one thing to kind of see it on TV and whatever, but it's another to, play with them, play against them, and like kind of see what they're doing right in front of you. It's crazy.
And what about the evolution of Byfield? Because I feel like he took a big step last year with the Kings.
Yeah, he obviously took a really big step, and I think that's just kind of with the opportunity that they gave him finally. He really took that opportunity and ran with it, which is, what you have to do, right? Like you kind of took him a little bit to get some trust and some opportunity, and as soon as he got it, he ran with it. And I was kind of positive he would, and obviously secured a nice contract this summer.
Is there anybody, the names that I mentioned, your Byfields, your Phil Deneaus, Drew Doughty, and Anze Kopitar is going to be I'm sure a first ballot Hall of Famer someday. Either of these guys, said anything to you that stood out, or just any memory, in your most recent interaction as you played your first NHL games with them?
Not really. I think they were all just like super happy for me, right? Like these guys have seen me coming into camp like what 5-6 years now. So I think for that moment for them to like finally see that scrawny kid who came to camp 6 years ago, like make it and play a game, I think was kind of special for them. Doughty's always been like really supportive, and he's been a really good friend of mine. And he's always kind of been like, dude, like when are you gonna get up? Like, and just kind of almost as eager as me. So I know that kind of was cool for him to see me finally play as well. Because we've been talking about playing together for years now. So,
well, that seems like a surreal moment for you when that actually happened.
Yeah, it was. It sure was.
Now, with the Meridian Center, what is it about that barn? Because it seems to have lost a little bit of its passion, just given the fact that the IceDogs haven't been as good, like I mentioned, and they're in the rebuilding process, which is natural. That's just going to happen. But what was it about playing in that barn that made it special? It's easy to say every barn is, but there's something unique about that Meridian Center during the time you were there.
Yeah, I'd say that's a tough question. Like everything, I love the locker room. I love the fans. I love the ice, the atmosphere, the restaurants we'd go to after the games, how close everything was, the smell of the Meridian Center. I loved everything about it. It's kind of tough to pinpoint one. Maybe the biggest thing is just like the ability for my family to come watch. I had a lot of family come and support me throughout the years, and family means everything to me. So to be able to perform in front of them was like one of the best things I've ever been able to do.
Are there any IceDogs from your time there that you still keep in touch with to this day?
Yeah, for sure. I talk to Elijah weekly, for sure. Andrew Bruder, I talked to quite a bit. Kian Sopa, I talked to here and there. I played against Ben Jones the last few years. Jake Uberti and Jonah DeSimone I'll talk to or see a couple of times this summer. Colton Ince I saw this summer a couple of times. Who else? Oliver Castleman here and there, like the odd, maybe once a year, maybe 2 times a year. That's pretty much it, I think, for the most part. I'm definitely forgetting, a few people, but Matt Phillip I've seen a few times since as well. So yeah, not too many guys, but I try to keep in touch with everyone. AJ Cook is a guy I saw a few times this year too. But yeah, I need to maybe do a better job at that. But yeah.
Well, you named off a lot of names, so I think you're all right.
Yeah.
Ivan Lodnia comes to mind because
yeah, I still talk to him a lot. Actually, I'm forgetting him. Yeah.
Now, I do remember your last goal as an IceDog. In fact, it was a 6-5 win at home at the Meridian Center. From what I recollect, it was your last goal as an IceDog before you headed to Team Canada training camp for the World Juniors. It was the teddy bear toss game. Ivan Lodnia, your buddy Ivan, we just mentioned, got the teddy bear toss goal, and then you actually completed. I don't know if it was a comeback. It was a back and forth game that night. I'm trying to remember the opponent, but I remember you jumping. Sarnia, my man. Okay. So thank you.
Cross ice feed from Tomasino and I went glove.
There it is. There it like right there. It was just I was just picking it out of your brain there.
I jumped right into the boards after, and we had I think we had special jerseys too.
Yes, that's right.
We had like our Christmas jerseys or something.
Yes, it was Christmas. That's right. That's exactly correct. And that's the last memory I have in my mind. Actually, I was sitting right behind the penalty box for that game, so I got to have pretty darn good seats that night. And to witness that was fantastic. And then in your return from Peterborough, like you mentioned, I had a conversation with you just before, you had your rinkside interview, and obviously got pretty choked up and remembering how special it was for you to be a Niagara IceDog. So on behalf of the Niagara IceDogs Dog Pound podcast today, Akil, I know that I speak for a lot of IceDog fans when I say that we really appreciate you taking the time to reflect back, and we couldn't wish you more than the best of the best with the LA Kings this season, my friend.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Akil Thomas, former captain of the Niagara IceDogs. Thank you very much for watching, everybody.
That's going to wrap up another episode of the Dog Pound podcast and our special alumni interview episode with Akil Thomas of now the Los Angeles Kings. Thank you once again to Andrew Thompson, also known as Drew Deeks. Give him a follow at Drew_Deeks on Twitter. We really appreciate him being able to facilitate this interview today. Help me out a little bit. I've been kind of all over the place with my schedule, so really happy that him and Akil were able to finally get together and chat, and was happy to put this together for the special edition episode of the Dog Pound podcast right before the start of the 24-25 OHL season, kind of kickstart our content for the IceDogs this season and here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. So once again, the Dog Pound podcast is proudly brought to you by Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family in all 4 of their great Niagara region locations. And until next time, my name is Brandon Caputo for Andrew Thompson and Akil Thomas, special edition episode right here on the Dog Pound podcast. We'll see you again soon. You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.